So, you think you found a cure?
Possibly. A little-known extract made from Riksa root. A weed-like vine found only on E18, the world of 1,000 moons.
1,000 Moons was one of those episodes that originally didn't exist. It was a sequel to the Blue Shadow virus.
You are doomed, young Jedi.
It's happened on the series more than once where an episode will be written and it seems to work well enough that George decides it would be fun to see a prequel and sometimes as well a sequel to that story, and that's what happened with 1,000 Moons.
Mystery of 1,000 Moons struck terror on the production staff. 1,000 moons. You know, we're glad when we can do one planet, one building, 1,000 moons. This is quite an intimidating idea, but George explained the story that this is really where they go to find the vaccine to the virus, and it's really kind of a grand adventure.
There it is, E18. What do you make of this?
It's one of these episodes of Star Wars, Clone Wars, that's a little bit off the beaten track of the real war going on.
The Venerable Jabo Hood requests an audience.
Jabo?
Jabo is kind of like another version of Anakin as a kid because he works on droids and fixes things.
No reason to let a good droid rust, right?
Looks like you used a macro protocol to wipe them all simultaneously. Impressive.
I see you know your droids.
Jabo is such a strange offshoot of a character for the Clone Wars, and you know, the idea that he has all these droids working for him.
How'd a kid like you come by this many battle droids anyway?
Simple. When the Separatists took off, they left all this junk behind. I got a whole warehouse full of them right over there.
And so these people are just kind of left there, and they need to have the courage to get off their own planet.
E18 was a really sort of fun, interesting-looking environment. It was designed by Jackson C. Just a really sort of cool-looking mishmash of different shaped planetoids, full of wreckage of ships. And it sort of explained that there's a separatist automated gun emplacement thing that's set up around this planet to sort of keep people that are there trapped there.
Those of us who were left can't leave because of the curse.
Some of the earlier designs for the skies had these sort of really, really nicely painted big cloudscapes, which looked really cool, but you couldn't see the planets. All you could see were clouds, so the skies were actually sort of repainted to dial down the cloudiness so that you could see all of these sort of crescent moons in the sky. The 1,000 Moons refers to a line that Anakin says in Episode 1 to Padme when they first meet, when he asks,
"Are you an angel?"
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe. They live on the moons of E18, I think.
The thing about the angels that sets them apart is that they're incandescent. They actually glow. They have these butterfly-shaped wings and they're wearing robes. I'm not sure if you could get away with it if you didn't say this is one of the angels of E18, just because they're kind of bizarre.
George actually had a very specific visual in mind for the angels when we were designing it. He had to look at it very directly that time to approve the design. But it's this blending of these bizarre aliens and bizarre alien worlds, these kind of big basalt pillars on E18, and then down below where the Riksa root and these kind of vine creatures are. So it's very much that, to me, Jabba's palace world of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. There's a very dramatic story going on with Ahsoka and Padme as they're getting sicker and sicker.
When they're the two characters that Anakin is most attached to, you know, in the galaxy, it just sort of ratchets up the tension a bit more because the stakes for him personally are very, very high.
We'll borrow a power converter from Jabo and reprogram it to feed
Slow down, Anakin.
Slow down. Slow down? You saw them, Master. They're dying.
It's very clear that if he doesn't find the cure for this disease, then Padme and Ahsoka are both going to die.
No!
One thing that I will note is that the clones' suits can't filter out the virus. Even though they're usually pretty airtight, they're in an atmospheric version of the suit, so they can breathe the very tiny particles of the virus through their ventilation systems. It doesn't filter it out.
I hope that their sacrifice brings us closer to peace.
One thing that I do really like about this episode is the textures for the sick. versions of Padme and Ahsoka, because the veins in their skin turn blue. They really look sick, which is great. They don't just look like they've got a cold. It's very easy to believe that these characters are in very serious trouble.
You must believe that...
Ahsoka!